Okay, almost 8 years ago now, which is hard to believe, I made a video about 9/11, but it was specifically about disinformation that was being purposefully spread by alleged truthers about 9/11. And for whatever reason, I'm still not clear on why this happened, but the video was taken down for hate speech during the period of time when a lot of videos were being taken down for medical misinformation. That's all I know about it, is that video was taken down at the same time that a bunch of other videos were being taken down if they were talking about the pandemic in a way that was not approved. Regardless of the reason, the video no longer exists. And as a result, I'm going to do this video, hopefully pretty quickly, to go back over the most important part that was contained in the old video that has been taken down. Specifically, that was an analysis of the collapse of the South Tower here, where one of these alleged truth tellers, who of course is not a truth teller in any way, shape, or form, and in fact is intentionally spreading disinformation, as we will come to see, claimed here, how are the two below images of the World Trade Center collapse consistent with each other? And the first image here, World Trade Center rooftop, is tilting steeply towards the south, and you can see the line that's drawn here. And then you have the other tower next to it. And then this area here where the fire is burning and the smoke is coming out is right here. And you see that compared to moments later after the tower begins to fall. And we have this tilt angle here pointing towards the front of the tower, which is meant to be compared with this line here. And the conclusion that you are supposed to come away from this with is that these two pictures here and here are not possible to both exist simultaneously. Because the idea is, well, hey, look at this image here. You have this huge angle here, and then you come over and look at it from a different view. And look, there's no angle like this one, so clearly there's something going on here. And then it continues into the next series of images where we have a similar analysis going on, and even a rooftop tilt angle is approximated here with official-looking x-axis and a y-axis, as if there is some kind of formulaic official mathematics taking place here, which is designed to imply credibility in your mind, or at least insinuate that to your subconscious mind, if not overtly. And it's a similar analysis. We're comparing the y-axis here to this view, saying that it's not the same angle. When you compare the rooftop tilt here to here. And the idea, again, as it is stated below, image A is meant to depict the World Trade Center 2, which is the South Tower, as it starts collapsing. The rooftop is seen tilting at an approximate angle of 21 degrees. Image B is clearly meant to have been snapped a few instants later, as illustrated by vector Y. We should thus expect to see an even steeper rooftop tilt, yet it is now less than 3 degrees. This physical impossibility proves that both of these images cannot be true. And the sweeping conclusion based on this evidence is that all of the imagery surrounding the events of September 11th, 2001 are CGI and not real. Everything you saw is CGI based on evidence like this, where they're saying, hey, look at this here, and then look at the tilt here in comparison to where everything is, hey, we should expect to see much more of a steep angle here, like we see here. But we don't see that, so hey, this must be fake. Now, all you have to do, first let me take these pictures down because I'm going to bring them back up, is go to the footage of the collapse of the South Tower, and we will begin to see the deception at work here. Now, you can see when comparing to this image, where the Y is right here, that is this face of the building. And the X that's referred to here is this corner of the building. So when we hit play, you can see that as the tower begins to collapse, it's falling forward. And a good way to think about this is it's weakened in this area. So it would be like a table with only 3 legs and someone having their hand on the corner where the 4th leg should be. Well, if the person removes their hand, the table's going to fall in the direction where there is no leg, right? That's where it's going to fall first, before the rest of the table turns over on the weight of there not being that 4th leg there. So it's pretty similar what's going on here. You have this weakened structure in both buildings so that when they do whatever they did to collapse the towers, it falls on top of the hole in the building first, the top of it anyway. So you have this motion where the top of the South Tower is falling forward. However, when you look at it from this angle, you can't tell that it's falling forward in that way. It just looks like it's going straight down. So you see the deceptiveness at work here. When you look at it from a different perspective, where you can see it a little bit from the side as opposed to straight on here, you can see how it's falling forward, and that's why the tilt is different here, because it fell forward than it is when you're viewing it from the side. As it is in this other image, it is exactly what we're seeing here, right? This is almost an identical screen cap of this falling forward and this view of the tower. But we know from the live action shot that because the tower is falling forward here, you see it continues to fall down forward, the top of it anyway, as the building collapses upon itself. We can see the explanation in a very simple way for why there's a different rooftop tilt angle. The perfectly logical and easy explanation is that you're just viewing it from different perspectives. But you can see the same thing here where it's disingenuously stated, where is the angle? Look, we're looking at it from this hugely panned out shot compared to this one. This is right up next to the buildings, and this one's way out back compared to this view. And we're saying, where's the angle? Well, the angle is there compared to here. You're just viewing it from a completely different perspective. If you were down here looking up at it like you are from this perspective, you would see it falling forward, the top of the building, into that hole that's there as the building itself collapsed, which is exactly what we saw from this perspective in the live motion shot. We see how it fell forward and down. See, it's falling forward. And that's even more pronounced here. If you were viewing it from the same view on the side, you would see, oh yeah, that's why it looks like there's a huge angle to the rooftop here as opposed to this version. Then you have this perspective here where it's facing you from a completely different angle, and when you watch the collapse, you see it looks like it's falling right at you. You can't tell that it's falling forward. Let me play that again. It's sort of an optical illusion, right? It's falling down, and it looks like it's going straight down. You can't tell that it's coming forward and down like you can from the other perspectives. And that is the game that's being played here, right? You cherry pick two different perspectives and you create your own illusion in that way. In this way, it's magic, what they're producing. Imagine that, a magic trick of disinformation, where the illusion, if you don't know any better, when you first see it, you say, yeah, hey, what's the deal with this? Why isn't there a tilt in the same way that there is from the other view? Because they've created a plausible illusion. And it's so ironic that they would create that into the disinformation when a lot of people who actually talk about the event talk about it in a magical sense, with a K, right? And that illusion is powerful enough when you're just starting out in this kind of stuff to where you can be swayed by it. And worse, you can become a disseminator of the disinformation. And because you are a real person and you are sincere, other people believe you and start to also think that the disinformation is real. And that's how the game is played. That's why they create their own disinformation for all of these events, or at least part of the reason why. There are many reasons. But I hope you see the most important part of this, which is that there is pre-calculated disinformation all over the internet when it comes to what is allegedly going on in the world, what the truth actually is. Intentional disinformation, that's the key here. You have to be aware that that is going on so that you don't spread disinformation unintentionally. You have to actually look into these things for yourself. If I just took the word of these screenshots and never went and looked at the footage myself, I would have been continuing to promote that disinformation without knowing that it was. If they don't know any better, a lot of people will think that what I'm pointing out here is some kind of innocent mistake. And in that way, they will let themselves be swayed that it's just a regular person who made a mistake. No, this is intentional, pre-calculated disinformation. And you have to be aware that that is going on the internet. There are all kinds of entities that are claiming to be giving you the truth that are actually lying through their teeth, knowingly giving you fake information, bad information, that you will spread to your friends and family unwittingly. And then that discredits you in their eyes when they figure out that what you told them is a complete fabrication, a lie. And this is 9/11, one of the events where we actually have physical evidence to compare with a person's claims about that evidence. But when it comes to a lot of other subjects that are loosely categorized as truth subjects, there is no physical evidence. And this, of course, is referring to the more spiritual aspects of all of this, where people can just make wild claims about what may or may not be going on. And there is no footage to go to double check, right? That's where you really get into trouble, when you're just taking someone's word for what is going on, when they are presenting themselves as a normal, ordinary, quote-unquote, truther. Those are the situations where you really have to protect yourself from assimilating without question what they are telling you. Anyways, I'm not sure why this video was taken down for hate speech. I really didn't think there was much of that in there. But it's good to separate this out from that old video that had a lot of bad information in it, and how could it not? It was from 8 years ago. So I wanted to make sure to get this back into the easily accessible record because it's important. So that's it for now. Later.